Federico, it's very nice to be here at the KPMG Latin American Conference here in Mexico City.
Thank you, Ronnie.
So, you and I were just talking about the landscape when it comes to tax examinations by the Mexican tax authorities. Tell me a bit more about that.
Yeah. Well, as you know, all the tax authorities around the world are really aggressive. Mexico is not the exception. Here in Mexico, right now, the tax authorities are reviewing many kind of topics, tax topics, but always the tax authorities require many kind of evidence in order to demonstrate to tax authorities that companies are right with the law. So for tax authorities, it's not sufficient just provide maybe bank statements or invoices. They want to be sure that the operations are really exist.
No.
And in this sense, they require maybe records or videos or photos.
Really?
And this is very, very difficult for the company sometimes because the tax authorities review past years now. And maybe it's difficult to the companies obtain that information. No? So this is very, very, very important that the companies obtain many kinds of information and documentation in order to provide to its authorities and demonstrate that the company are okay.
And based on your experience, what are the best kinds of evidence that the tax authorities are looking to receive?
Yes, actually, are many documentation that are really insane now because sometimes the companies cannot obtain this kind of information or documentation as that, and it's very, very, very complicated to demonstrate like those things now.
Okay, so we have a landscape where the tax authority wants to make sure it knows what's going on. So it's asking for lots of different things. I heard you say like videos, proof of operation, stuff like that. What happens if you can't provide that evidence?
Well, in Mexico exists some independent public institution. Its name is PROICON. PROICON is a tax ombudsperson in Mexico that helps the taxpayers in order to try to sign an agreement, and show many kind of evidence. And these people helps to the taxpayer in order to try to demonstrate with a specific evidence all the legal terms. Now. So in PROICON, the taxpayers could file a conclusive agreement. It's the legal name, and the company and the tax authorities could sign this kind of agreements before go to the tribunals. So this is a good way in order to finalize the audit in that step.
So that's a very interesting resource available. I'm sure many people haven't really heard about it. An independent ombudsperson who can help both the taxpayer and the tax authority come to some sort of agreement in the absence of sufficient evidence.
Yes.
So that's really interesting, Federico. I can only imagine, just given what I've been hearing over the last couple of days about tax exams, that you're talking to a lot of people here at the conference, and us that. If I can just ask one last question about the ombudsperson, because I thought that was really, really interesting. How soon in the process, when you're going through a tax exam, do you start to talk to clients about, like, when should we talk to the ombudsperson?
Well, we have some specific period in order to go to the PROICON 20 working days after the tax authorities issue the final resolution before the tax assessment.
Got it.
So this is the period of time that the taxpayer could go to the PROICON. After that, if we cannot obtain a full resolution or sign an agreement, the company could go maybe to the fair tax court.
Yep.
Or in some kind of legal means of defense, for example.
Got it. So a very short window before tax assessment. Well, Federico, this is a fascinating. So thank you very much for your time. It's wonderful to hear about this independent ombudsman approach. So thank you.
Thank you.